Hey guys, today we're just going over the latest Call of Duty debacle, and today we're going to be covering the re-release of Verdansk and covering the updates that we're not getting, because you see they're updating the store bundles that are broken and not really focusing on the core game. They need to focus on the anti-cheat, of course, and they need to focus on the bugs in the game, but the damage control is already in. You can see that Verdansk was released because the damage is already too much. And you saw this happening from a while ago, and nothing is really confirmed until it's confirmed. So those who were speculating that Verdansk would never come back, that was happening not too long ago. People were saying about 2 years ago, like, stop hoping. It's never going to come back. Just get your hopes out. It's not going to happen. And that's because we mainly had Caldera, we had Al-Mazrah, and we were convinced that Call of Duty was just going to impose their will on us and not give us what we wanted like usual. So that's why we are getting Verdansk back. This is damage control. And like I said, the last time we saw damage control like this was when Infinite Warfare came out. And like I said, for those who don't know, and for those who don't watch my channel, I'm going to give you a quick history overview in the beginning of the video. I have been playing this game since 2008. Not multiplayer, but Call of Duty. I started in World at War, and I ended up playing zombies after the campaign. I beat the World at War campaign. The World at War campaign is probably the most played campaign that I have ever tried. It is the best because it introduces Reznov, you have Private Dimitri, and then you have Sergeant Robach on the Pacific Front, and it's just crazy. And you have Private Miller. The story was just phenomenal. It was such a well-written story, and the fact that after you took Berlin as the Russians, then getting thrown right into zombies, it was just great. And I stayed with zombies up until Black Ops 1, and then MW3 is really when I started getting involved into the multiplayer component of the game. And then Black Ops 2, it was smooth sailing from there. I was on zombies, multiplayer campaign. I beat the campaign 3 times, and it was just, I spent 3, 4 years on that game, so I have been there for the absolute peak of this franchise. I'm telling you guys, I have experienced it. I am blessed to have experienced it, but this is too much. And you can tell that the damage control is already in. So, my question to you guys is, if the damage control doesn't work, what's going to happen? What's the next play here? Because you see, you will have to get that player base that you just lost back. That has nothing to do with sales. That's already people that bought the game. So we're not incorporating sales into their revenue stream. We're just doing the store purchases. If all of these people left and they're not buying from the store, they're not buying the battle pass, they just want to play Verdansk, right? They're not going to give you any money because they know that the game is very bad. So if this is not going to save you, even though it might bring some players back, I don't think the 60% player base is recoverable. And that's why I don't think that the Battle Royale map is going to help out as much as it is, because Battle Royale is also on its way out. Fortnite is its different thing, guys. You have Marvel characters, you have so many different collabs, you have Juice WRLD in the game. You can't compare Fortnite with Call of Duty because the collabs are not the same. You can't. So the Battle Royale component is what we're comparing, and it's on its way out because I'm sorry, Call of Duty is not pulling in the numbers on Warzone anymore. It's just not happening. And that's because people are waking up. They're realizing that it's a very bad game. You have Swag who's quitting because he physically can't play. Aydan physically can't play. The servers are that bad. That's what's happening. And so what do you think is going to happen if you bring back an old map with all of these problems? People aren't going to give it a try. I'm calling it right now. When Verdansk comes out, the player base isn't going to skyrocket. It's actually not going to go above 50%. It's going to stay right where it's at. The player base is not going to improve to they only lost 40% rather than over 50. It's going to stay above 50. It's not going to happen. I'm calling that right now. The numbers are too bad to recover within the time frame that they want to recover. And that's why I'm going to make a very bold prediction here, and I'm not going to say they're going to give us what we want, but they're going to give us what we need. Okay, hear me out. They're going to give us what we need, and what I mean by that is The sales can only go so far, and if they're not pulling in the revenue from the store, they're going to have to give us something for next year. Because they're not going to want to report to shareholders at the end of Q4 that they have been down every quarter since Black Ops 6 released. That's not going to happen. Okay, you have to understand the company that we're dealing with. And I remember that in the first ever commentary I uploaded, somebody mentioned that Activision definitely didn't incorporate components of a patent because the patent was abandoned. But I ask you this, viewer who left that comment, do you think Activision is the type of company to have the morals to not incorporate malicious components of a patent that they have that's abandoned into their game? I know that's a lot to take in, but do you really think they're not that scummy? Do you really think Activision wouldn't incorporate malicious components of that patent into their game, even though it's abandoned? Come on, who are you trying to tell me is a good player in this situation? Activision or us? Seriously, I'm sick and tired of the people going to defend the company because the company does not defend you. They don't care about you. If they did, these problems wouldn't exist. And I think it's just too far gone. 2025 is here. You have a game that's bleeding, to put it lightly, players. You have to adjust. You have to do something. You have to make a play, okay? Because the shareholders are going to start selling sooner rather than later. I'm telling you, there's a lot more better investments to make than Activision right now, especially with the way their games are doing, okay? Especially with the way their games are doing. You do not want your shareholders to sell Activision. I know it. That's the one thing that we both agree on. So if you don't adjust and give us something that we need, Black Ops 2 Remastered, guys, Black Ops 2 Remastered is what we need. And there's no better time. You are down so bad, Call of Duty, and it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You're in 2025. You're not going to get this opportunity again. Don't be the leeches that you are. Remaster the game that came out in 2012, 1-to-1 ratio, no malicious systems in the game. Bring back all the cosmetics and add more cosmetics and charge us if you want to, okay? You could charge us $5 for the Afterlife camo. You could charge us $10 for the Afterlife camo. I would pay $20 for the weaponized 115 camo. That's how good of a camo it was when it first released. That camo is worth $20. I would gladly pay $20 for that camo today, okay? That is so worth it, you have no idea. Because if it's a camo in a good game, I'll buy it. But you need to make the good game, otherwise I'm not going to play it. I can't look at your store if I'm not going to load up the game. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to look at your store bundles if I can't load up your game with the intention to want to play it. It's as simple as that. You could make a gold mine with Black Ops 2 Remastered. You could literally find the holy grail when it comes to player count, player retention, sales, and revenue. You could find it perfectly this year and just let it sail forward. But will you, Activision? That's the question. That's the question. You could just let it happen, or you could ruin it all like you're doing right now. Okay? You have the power, though, and unfortunately, Microsoft is the same as you. Okay? Do you care about shareholders, or do you care about us? Unfortunately, you're going to have to pick both, because that's how bad of a spot you're in. I'm out of time, guys. I'll see you. Peace.